Good evening and welcome to COVID-19 Facts. First, for this Thursday, April 9th, there have been 6 new deaths in Monroe County in the last 24 hours from the COVID-19 virus. So far, 40 people have died in just 24 days. There are 53 new cases in Monroe County, bringing the total to 680. 85 people are in the hospital and 37 in the ICU. Governor Cuomo says hospitalizations are down across New York and ICU admissions are at the lowest level they've been since March 19th, but the death toll is continuing to climb. Cuomo said today that we must all remain vigilant and continue to socially distance ourselves in order to defeat this threat. He also warned that it may be a long road to recovery.
Everybody is assuming, well, once we get through this, we're done. I wouldn't be so quick to assume that. This virus has been ahead of us from day one. We've underestimated the enemy, and that is always dangerous, my friends, and we should not do that again.
There have been 799 new deaths in New York in the past 24 hours. That's another record for one day. That brings the total number of deaths statewide to just over 7,000. Some new numbers out in Monroe County show that African Americans and Latinos are being hospitalized at twice the rate of white people in our area. African Americans make up about 28% of the people in the hospitals. Hispanics make up just over 18%. African Americans are 3 times more likely to be admitted to the ICU. Monroe County Public Health Commissioner Michael Mendoza says he hopes to use this data to help get to those communities and help them as they continue to struggle.
I think, communities of color don't have the same level of access to primary care. They don't have the same level of access to urgent care. In general, I think they tend to access care later in the course of illness. I think that is true. And I think it's worth bearing in mind that we know that minority communities suffer disproportionately from chronic illnesses. And we have every reason to believe that's going to play into how our community evolves with regard to COVID-19.
The U.S. government says another 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. It was the second largest number of initial unemployment claims in U.S. history since tracking started in 1967. The highest was the previous week at 6.8%. Around 16 million people have applied for unemployment in the last 3 weeks. Senator Schumer says we can expect another relief bill to come soon from Washington. That new bill is expected to provide $500 billion to businesses and local governments. Schumer also fought for supporting nonprofits with the government funds.
This is very important. For our nonprofits are often the groups that are providing the social services for people who need help. And nonprofits are a large part of the Rochester, Finger Lakes area economy. So they're in the bill. It also applies, by the way, nonprofits, churches. We have a lot of small churches, many in the inner city, but many in rural areas. There's no collection plate. We don't want them to go out of business. They do a lot of social services, etc. There may be a challenge by the ACLU, but in the bill, they get the same kind of help that other nonprofits would get.
Governor Cuomo has criticized the amount of federal aid given to New York so far, saying it's not enough. State losses could be somewhere between $10 and $15 billion. New doctors will soon stand on the front lines fighting the COVID-19 outbreak in Rochester. The University of Rochester Medical School class of 2020 is graduating 6 weeks early. The new doctors will be learning and helping licensed doctors fight this pandemic. Of the 99 graduates, 30 have committed to residencies in New York State. Others will be heading to hospitals across the country.
I'm just feel fortunate to be in a situation where I have a service that can be potentially helpful. And when we were informed of the potential opportunity to work after we graduate early, I thought about all those people in my life that have inspired me and the people that inspire me every day. And I feel fortunate to be able to contribute to this cause.
Before entering the workforce, the new doctors will have a formal virtual commencement on May 15th. As always, keep it right here to rochesterfirst.com for all the latest COVID-19 information, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for news as it happens. Thank you for watching and have a safe evening.